Hello everybody and welcome to another reading. Today we're going to be talking about the second half of May, so from the 14th of May to the 31st, and we'll see what's going on for you. So one good news that I do have to tell you is that May is relatively quiet. All right, we've had some very loud astrology for a very long time. We've had many a retrograde, almost every single planet. Well, I mean, pretty much every planet has been retrograde. We just went past eclipse season. And there's been a lot of big shifts in the generational planets, as I like to call them. You know, Neptune's already changed signs. Saturn will be changing signs. Jupiter will be changing signs. Pluto has changed signs. You know, there's been a lot of big shifts. However, May, we get a little bit of a breather. So I will start with that good news for you, okay? But the changes are again coming. But really, I think that you should take the time in the last half of May, first of all, to rest. And second of all, to really think about where you want to take the rest of this year, because we do have a lot of changes coming towards you, which we will discuss later on in the year, especially for you guys who will be experiencing your Saturn return. Saturn will be moving into Aries on the 25th of May. So that is a big thing for you guys. And we will talk about that later on. Which is very important. So, okay, so let's talk about the astrology for this little bit of the month. So we have Mercury will be in Taurus. All right, now the good news is, a second good news, I know you're so lucky. A second good news is that Mercury and Venus will be moving out of their post-retrograde shadow. It doesn't happen until the end, the 25th of May, towards the end. So we still have a little bit of time. But you can hang on for another 10 days, all right? Like, or if you're watching this sort of near the beginning of May rather than the 14th, you can hang on for a little bit longer. We have been in these retrogrades and this retrograde shadow and all of this, that, and the other. So it's been quite a hard time. So if any of you have been struggling, you know, we're here. We understand. But with this Mercury moving into Taurus, it's really, really nice because we get to have sort of wholesome conversations, and the conversations that we do have are very, very grounding. They are very nice. They are filled with like a boost of kind of let's get going energy, because we do still have Venus in Aries until June. But I want you to know that for the last couple of months we've all been like reviewing. There's been a lot of reviewing and not a lot of moving forward, and if you felt quite stuck, don't worry, the astrology says so. So you're all good. It's okay. We're going to start having some movement again towards the end of May. So that is also some good news. I'm full of good news today. And we still have Venus in Aries. You know, she's been there for a really long time now. A very long time, actually. It's not that usual that Venus is in a sign for that long. But because we had the retrograde, it sort of danced between Pisces and Aries. So there was a lot of shifts between, oh, I romanticize this, and oh, you know, I need to take my power back and I need to just go for it and not romanticize the situation. There was a big old, like, you know, back and forth of the two. And we had the same with Mercury, really. So we've been having some confusing conversations or some confusing interactions with other people or with ourselves in the way we talk to ourselves. Maybe you guys felt like you weren't making much progress in various areas of your life. And it can feel quite uncomfortable going through this very confusing energy and this very opposing energy as well. So with Mercury being in Taurus and Venus being in Aries towards the end, there's this feeling of being able to use your enthusiasm, use your power, and use your passionate nature to have really grounded conversations. So it's kind of a nice mix, actually, when we reach the end of May, of being able to put your plans into action. You know, if we think about it in its simplest form, we have discussing, you know, very grounded topics, very serious topics, very lovely topics though. And then we have this energy of like, yeah, let's go. I really want to do this thing. So I want you to embrace that a little bit towards the end of May. I want you to start thinking about what solid plans you have or what very solid conversations you would like to have with other people. Maybe you've had some disputes, or maybe you've not really been getting along with certain people or certain situations. And now is the time to sort of start being like, oh, okay, how can I make this practical? How can I create something from this? And we have very inspirational energy over here, very inspirational. So Taurus, we can cultivate things, right? We can really like make things happen in a very calm, collected, determined kind of way. And with a bit of Aries in there, it's like, yeah, okay, you know, how can I bring my passion into the situation? So I think that that's great. And then on the same day, actually, we have Saturn moving into Aries as well. So we still have this Aries energy following us for a little while. Neptune is also there. So this will be interesting, and this will be talked about in detail in a video about, you know, Saturn in general and Saturn, people's Saturn returns. But with Saturn being in Aries, there is going to be a push and pull between, you know, I want to do this and I have the determination to do this and I have the plans to do this. But Saturn's going to kind of bring you down and be like, yeah, but how can we do this realistically? Which is great. Because although we have that Neptunian Aries, let's go get it energy, we also have, I say Neptunian, not because Neptune represents Aries, but because Neptune is in Aries. So we have that sort of dreaming of a better life, or dreaming of a, you know, more of an action plan with Saturn. And he's going to sit there and say, I like to give the planets like personalization. So if you hear me do that, just, you know, that's the thing I do. So he's going to be here and he's going to be like, yeah, okay, but shall we think before we speak? Shall we think before we do? Which we all need at some point. Like, we all need a bit of that, hold on a minute. And it might feel weird, but it's good for us. And then another thing we get to experience is a very, very curious new moon in Gemini. So if there are things that you haven't really been trying, because you haven't really been brave enough to try, we have an opportunity to set some intentions that are a little bit out of the box. A little bit, you know, here, there, and everywhere. If you are somebody who gets anxious, or somebody who has a rough time with trying new things, or doing things that you, I mean, that's the same thing. I was going to say doing things you wouldn't normally do, but, you know, the same thing. This is a really great new moon to set intentions for being a little bit braver. Because Gemini isn't necessarily known for being brave, but Gemini is very much known for just being like, yeah, sure, fine, I'll give it a go. Why not? Let me talk to you about this thing, even though I don't really know much about it, but I'm just going to go for it. So this new moon is all about sort of setting those intentions in terms of, you know, how we can broaden our horizons just a little bit more, which is really, really nice. I mean, the moon in Gemini, you know, it's not super at home. It's nothing like that. It's just a nice energy, a nice different energy than what we've had more recently. So that will be a bit of a change up. So in terms of how this all reflects for you guys, there is a feeling of renewal, a feeling of moving forward, but a feeling of having a stable plan. So it's not so chaotic, it's not so unpredictable, and it feels more like we know what we want to do and we are going to do it with energy and with curiosity and with realism in a way, which, you know, I think is actually an excellent energy to have, considering the astrology that we have experienced in the last few months. I mean, the last year, really, to be honest. The last year has been quite uncomfortable for a lot of us, for a lot of different reasons. And I think that the Mars retrograde, which we are out of now, and that's all good, has played a huge part in that. And the fact that that went on through 2 Mercury retrogrades, plus eclipse season, plus Venus retrograde, you know, there was a lot of back and forth. So I think now is the time to breathe. All right, I want you to remember that we should enjoy our time now. Because things pick up again. Later on in the year, things start to pick up again. There's a lot of shifts, a lot of changes. But for now, you know, we're kind of here. Any of you who have Saturn in Aries in your chart, please come back here a little bit later on in a couple of weeks, because I will discuss this with you and what that means for you, because it's quite a big moment for you guys, and I want to give you like a little bit of a survival guide for that. But yeah, that's a bit about the astrology for today. So what I will do now is we'll go straight into your reading. But I wanted to give you like a little overview. Although not much is happening, not many things that are significant. It's great that these Mercury and Venus are coming out of their post-retrograde shadow. It's great. But I just wanted to give you a little bit of an overview. But we'll go into your reading now and see what the last 2 weeks in May are going to bring you. Because I think that maybe you would like to know. So yeah, let's do that, and I will see you in just a second. Hello everybody, and welcome to your reading. So this reading is going to be on the last half of May and what you can expect to come towards you. I would expect, given the astrology, that there will be some stuff happening to you surrounding your career, your public roles, the way other groups of people see you, and maybe some situations that are happening within your friendship groups or the groups that you are a part of. Obviously, Mercury is coming and Venus are coming out of their post-retrograde shadow, so you may be having some conversations with friends, some sorts of if you've had any disagreements with friends or anything like that, those will come back around, and you'll be able to have constructive conversations about that, and you guys will be really feeling quite passionate in your career, passionate in everything you're doing. I want to take some cards first of all, just to start, of what energies are going to be surrounding you during this the last half of May, and we will see what comes and we'll sort it out from there. What do you think? All right, so what are the energies surrounding Cancer during the last half of May? Oh, okay. So we have the Fox with shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. So yeah, there's definitely a work connotation here, but there is also a way that you have to be Foxes are quite crafty. So there might be something that you have to kind of go around, or something that you have to be very resourceful about to make happen. Let's see what else is surrounding you. What energies are surrounding Cancer? Okay, so I don't know if some of you have a boss, or some of you work under somebody who is older than you, but you might have to have a conversation with this person in order to get what you want. I think that this person, we'll see in a little while, I think this person will be quite helpful for you in order to be resourceful, but I think this conversation is something that needs to be had. Let's see. If you've had any disagreements with an older man, it could be a father figure or someone you're in a relationship with that is older than you. This could also be to do with that. Doesn't have to be to do with business. Oh my goodness, hold on. It's too many. We do have the butterfly. I'm going to put this down here because it fell out, which says a change for the better. So I do think that there is a good change coming your way, and I think it comes from this older man. So let's see. Give me one more energy surrounding Cancer for the end of May. Oh, okay. All right, great. So we have this. So we have Bear, which says danger, especially in money matters. So if any of you have been struggling with your money or your finances, there's something here. This is more of an advice. This is more of an advice to you. This is for you to seek out the help and support of an older man. And also to make sure that you don't let in the classic version of the patriarchy, right? Like the older man, you don't let them tell you, what to do. I think it's important that you ask for what you need and you say firmly that is what you need and what you want, all right? I think that this is going to have to be something that is tackled head on. If you don't, we might have an issue. There might be a limitation in terms of your finances. There might be a discussion here that happens around what you should do for your job or how you should act in your job. Let's see what is coming towards Cancer, because we do have that public role situation. So it could be that you have to speak up at work and you're not very sure if it's going to be a popular opinion or not. We have fertility here as well. So you're creating something. whatever it is that you're creating in your work. It could be, if you work on social media, that's very much public roles E. So it could be that you're trying to create something and perhaps you need to enlist the help of an older man, or perhaps an older man gives you some advice. Okay, so what else is, give me the other energy surrounding Cancer for this second half of May. Longevity. Okay, so we do have this with this older man. I feel like this really is the longevity card. There's something about like the having the wisdom and knowledge to do something and to do it over and over again consistently. Something that you can keep up. Maybe some of you have been spending a lot of money or investing a lot in your career and not really seeing the results. And it could have potentially been unsustainable. Maybe you felt like you can't sustain it because you're not getting enough sales, or you're not doing things that you thought you would be doing. And so you've been working really hard and you're getting, you know, exhausted. There's someone here who can help you though. There's someone here who can help you. Whoa. Yeah, you see, and it's bringing you a little bit of luck, which is good. And also trust. I think that this is somebody who maybe you wouldn't have thought would help you in first instance. This could be if it's your boss and maybe you were a bit afraid to talk to them, or you're a bit afraid to approach them with something. Maybe you need more hours, or maybe they're not giving you enough money, or maybe they're not giving you enough hours to sustain yourself. There's something here. This older man might be somebody, I mean, we don't always work with gender, so it could be somebody who is an older female or an older person who just has more masculine tendencies. But this person, you might be afraid to approach them right now, but they are going to bring you something really, really helpful. You just need to go, and because we have a change for the better over there, so there's definitely something here that will help you in the future. Yeah. Cultivate. Exactly. This is what we were talking about, because Taurus, with that Mercury in Taurus, when it goes into there, there's something about groups, collaborations, you know, you need to enlist the help of somebody in order to move forward. This is something that I would usually say, oh, stay steadfast on your own 2 feet, blah, blah, blah. But this isn't something that, it's not that you can't do it by yourself, but this is something that if you enlist the help of somebody, you will find that it flows way easier. You need to collaborate with people on this. What else? Yeah. Okay. So these may be people that you've come up against before. Maybe you are, I don't want to say you're afraid of them, but maybe you feel intimidated by them a little bit. Or if you're not intimidated by them, maybe you just feel like they won't accept you, or they won't help you, or even they don't have the competence to help you. Maybe you made a judgment about somebody not being able to help you because they don't have the expertise, but actually if you gave them an opportunity, they would be able to help you a lot. Tell me more. What is happening for them in May, in the last half of May, for my lovely little Cancers? You know, because we have had that Mars retrograde in your sign, which has been really, really difficult. Mars doesn't like Cancer, you know, it's a bit... so maybe you have felt more often recently a bit of conflict, whether that is in yourself or with somebody else. Yeah, collaborate. Exactly. You need to collaborate with someone here, and I think that this is to do with work. There's something that you're trying to do by yourself and you've been struggling with. It could be a task that you've been asked to do at work that you need to give, you know, another person a chance to help you. And I understand if you don't want to lean on people like super, you know, really, really heavily, because you want to do it yourself and you want to be independent and you know you can do it yourself. Sometimes it's not about being able to do it. Sometimes it's about like what can make it easier for us and whether, you know, it's necessary that we lean on ourselves. Because I think sometimes we can get stuck in this loop of being very independent, of being very on our own, because you want, look, listen, at the end of the day, we all have an ego. You want the ego of having achieved it yourself. You want to say, I stood on my own 2 feet and I created this myself. But there's something here where you have to let your ego down in order to, you know, get this project or this thing that you want off the ground. I would suggest not to judge anybody before you know, invite them into your space. I would say that keep an open mind with the help and support other people can offer you. And also just start thinking about like, who is it and how is it that I want this, who is it that I want to help me with this project, and how do I want it to come about? What else is coming for them in the second half of May? Oh my goodness. I do think that you need to, like, I think that you need to take yourself out of the situation and stay a bit calm. I don't know whether some of you have been having some intense conflicts amongst, it doesn't have to be in work, but it's something to do with, unless this is in just general life and the older person is a therapist or something like that. But you need to take a little bit of a break. I think that tensions have been running quite high in the most recent weeks. Yeah, and I think you need to just like take a minute and realize that you need to keep going. Like, I don't think this is I think that your independence and how great that is and your hard work and stuff like that, like, that's great and all, but are you putting your hard work in the right place? Are you tiring yourself out for no reason? It might be time to rethink where you put your effort, and it might be time to rethink, you know, what it is you want and how you want to get there. Yeah, like, you need to have a little bit more of a spark. You need to have a little bit more imagination, like, be a bit more creative. I think you might be worrying too much. There might have been some worries in the recent times of like how your career is going to go, where it's going to go. Like, am I going to always have to answer to somebody? You know, like, yeah, there needs to be an embodiment of this, like, of this energetic persona. And also, we have relationships on the bottom. I understand that you have been wanting to be independent. Like, I get that. I do. I understand that. I always want to be independent. But sometimes we really need to ask for the help that we need. And I think right now, if you are overwhelmed or if you cannot cope with the amount of things that you need to do, and that's not to say that you can't cope, but it's like, do you really want to make your life super hard? Probably not. Like, it's okay to, you know, work smarter, not harder, right? Like, if somebody says that they can help you, or if you believe that somebody might be able to help you, or it might not even be help, but it might just be visibility or collaboration or inspiration, you know, like, look around for those little pockets of inspiration and maybe potential for collaboration, because whatever it is that you do in this period of time is going to set you up for something really brilliant, and it will be your success. It's not going to be this person's success or something else. This will be your success. It's just that it comes with the help of somebody else, and there's nothing wrong with that at all. I will see, you know, this is going to be different for everybody, but let's see sort of in the realms of where this sits in your life. Oops. What's this? Okay, so for some of you, this might be about love. So for some of you, this might be about you creating conflict in your life. And you not really being able to see the other side of it. Some of you might need to work together. Maybe some of you need to have a conversation with someone who is like more of a father figure or a mother figure. It doesn't mean that they are older, like, necessarily, but in maturity, maybe they are. Maybe you've been being quite immature about a situation in your love life, and actually you need that advice and you need that support to be like, yeah, you know what, I actually should go and do that, or I actually shouldn't go and do that. I would say to look for any signs that maybe somebody else could support you in whatever you need to do. Yeah, you know, we have happiness here as well, and we do have career too. So this could be, you know, obviously this is a general reading for you, Cancer, so there could be many manifestations of this scenario where somebody could support you. But it is important for every single one of you to be looking out for that support, and let that ego go down a little bit. You don't need so much of an ego. I understand that, like, you might worry about embarrassment, or you might worry about this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, every single person needs to be vulnerable at some point in order to get where they want. And I think it's important for you to remember that. I don't want you walking around feeling embarrassed about, you know, needing some support. Like, it's important. And it's not always going to lead to conflict. Like, maybe you need support from multiple people and that's what you're worrying about. Maybe that will lead to conflict. Let's see. So when is this older person? So we know this older person's coming in the end of May. But when will this situation be solved? When will we have that change for the better after this older person or this more mature person comes in? This is somebody quite masculine, but it doesn't have to be a male. And they don't have to be actually age older than you. They can just be more mature. Whoa. Sorry, gang. My cards are just falling everywhere and it's making it very difficult. Okay. So whatever this is, when this guy comes in or this person comes in to give you some support, it will all come to a head in September, which is very interesting because we do have that Jupiter energy coming into your sign, as I've been talking about in a couple of these readings. So we do have that Jupiter energy sort of building inside of you. And in September, there will be some great transits. And also one of them included will be Jupiter in Cancer. So that will really help you. And that will make you feel very independent. Like all of this is just by the by, right? All of this is just when you need to go on a journey and you use Google Maps. And then you get there. Like you still got there. You still followed the journey on Google Maps. You know what I mean? Like it's not that this person does everything for you. You still achieved getting to that destination, but it gave you a helping hand to get there. And this person isn't going to want to take any credit either. This is just somebody who's going to pop in. If any of you are in any type of debt or having any difficulties in that type of realm, it's really worth you seeking support for that, because there is also a resourcefulness here and a warning about money matters in here as well. So I think anything you need support with in terms of money or work or anything like that, it's important to reach out for that for sure, because, you know, we're getting to a place now where these things are going to come up. Let's see. So at the end of May, right at the end of May, when everything's gone down and we've had that new moon in Gemini, which, by the way, is quite a sticky situation for you because it's in the 12th house. However, it will be encouraging you to speak to yourself more nicely, which is nice. And it's very cathartic for you. So you might want to, you know, rent a film, eat some nice food and sit on the sofa and just give yourself a bit of love. Okay, so at the end of May, after all is said and done, what energy will be surrounding Cancer then? Oh my goodness, hold on. They're all falling out. Hold on a minute. All right. What energy is surrounding Cancer at the end of the month? Right at the end. Ah, okay, great, cool. So we have this archway, which is new opportunities, possibilities, and paths opening up. I think that is really cool. We did have a bit of, I don't know if some of you also have some Gemini in you, but we did have this card as well for Gemini, but we had this at the beginning of the month for them. So, oops. So I would like to let you know that, like, you know, there are new things coming up. There are new things that are available to you. I just want to say, like, be mindful of chasing money. I feel like I need to bring that to you. Be mindful of chasing money in your career and public roles area. Chase more your passions than your money. And I know some of you might be strapped for money right now. Maybe some of you are thinking, yeah, but that's what I need. Like, just beware of being greedy in your situation. Because I think at the end of the day, with this new opportunities and possibilities and paths opening up, I think you will receive more when you let go, if that makes sense. Like, I would be very wary of spending a lot of money. I would be very wary of you know, trying to gain as much money as you can. Like, I would be very wary of the way that you use your money or the way that you approach it. I don't know. I'm just getting the feeling that maybe, you know, you'll be overwhelmed by all of this and you'll start to just chase the money, and maybe you're not chasing your happiness anymore. If you feel you're chasing money and not your happiness, please do keep that in check, because we definitely do have a bit of a warning here. Not a scary one. Oh my goodness, the cars. Not anything scary, just like, you know, just be aware, because when you chase that type of money, or when you chase the greed of material wealth, you don't really get to your passions, and it can make you feel quite sad. And we do have love and happiness there. So I want you guys to really focus on, like, you know, I'm doing this because I love it. I'm not doing it for the money. I mean, hey, look, money's great, isn't it? But I think that you need to make sure that you are doing it for your... We also had dark woman come out then, so I don't know, maybe this person has more darker features that is coming towards you. Maybe you know who this person is. But as always, obviously this is a general reading, so take what resonates and leave what doesn't. But I would just say, you know, if you are having anything to do with money, if anything is like coming up for you, I would really think about how you deal with that, and think about, you know, maybe focusing less on actual monetary gain and just focusing on the basics and being passionate about what you do instead of just chasing the money. All right, so Cancer, that is what I have for you today. I really just want to leave you with I don't want you to go away from this thinking that this was like a big ominous warning. It's not, actually. It's very hopeful, because we do have someone coming in to help you. But it all depends on you letting go of a mindset that is clinging on to money or clinging on to monetary gain. There's something here that you really need to let go of, and there's something here that you need to let in. And once you do that, you're going to be okay. But there is a little thing here to say, hey, Cancers, just think about how you spend your money, or think about how you approach your relationship with money, because we have, you know, we have some stuff going on there. So I would really just be mindful, especially, I actually forgot to say this, that Mars is now in your second house, which is actually, well, it's a house of self-worth, but it is also a house of literal material worth. So if you are feeling called, like a call to action to make money, I'd just be careful that you're not doing it out of a greed or a selfish type vibe. Just be mindful of that, and just enjoy the journey that you're on, and enjoy, like, accept any help that comes towards you. Just accept it, just enjoy it, just allow it in, because it will take you somewhere really cool. But anyway, Cancer, I hope you enjoyed your reading. If you did, please give us a little like, a little thumbs up. You can leave us a comment if you would like. And if you are feeling very, very generous, please do subscribe to our channel. We would really appreciate it, and it would be lovely to get to know some of you. But if not, we will see you hopefully very, very soon. I hope you have a gorgeous day. I love you.